All right, welcome back to Beyond the Dial Tone. I'm Nate Raper, and today we have a special treat. I'm joined by my friend across the pond, Deji Okanlawon. Thank you so much for joining us, Deji.
It's great to be here, Nate. Absolutely great. I've heard a lot about the Beyond Dalton, and I can't just wait to be a part of the show today.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and just dive right in. So, thinking about phone systems, what is a legacy challenge around customers' phone systems that cloud solutions haven't been able to solve? And I'm like something that's been around forever, but just keeps coming up again and again as a challenge.
Well, Nate, have you ever heard of the word facsimile? That word,
Yes.
just for your information, means fax. Fax ever since the 90s, right? Someone
Hmm.
in a nice blazer, they've stood at a podium and they've declared the fax machine is dead.
Yep.
Email killed it in the 2000, cloud storage killed it in the 2010s, Slack and all these other 1,000 SaaS startups and start applications have taken their turn swinging the axe. And yet somehow facsimile machines, they're still humming away in hospitals, in law firms, raising their gigantic tones and voices, and like a melodrome of sounds in government offices, and even in your weird uncle's home office. They're
So
spitting
true.
out crunchy tama papers like it's the 90s, and they love every minute of it. At this point, calling facts outdated is like calling Kate Richards unhealthy. Surely technical, and yet here we are. So today, Nate, we are going to do an autopsy on something that refuses to be dead. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that before? How do you do an autopsy of something that refuses to be dead? But
We'll find out how. We'll figure it out.
we figure something out, right? But nine
Exactly.
lives isn't a metaphor here. Fox is being said to be that cat with 9 lives. But the truth is, it literally has 9 lives. So let's see. Let's find out what we're going to do, how we're going to discuss, or how we're going to transition into something that at least help people solve this problem.
Well, that sounds great, Ted. I mean, that's quite the summary of the life of faxing. I appreciate that. So, all right, let's just jump right in. I'll hand it off to you, and you can show how we can fax like it's 2026.
That is great. And this is a great thing, Nate, is that yeah, even though Fox is old, it's a legacy technology, it's a cut with 9 lives, give it all these names, this is a that, but we don't have to fax like we're in the 90s, right? We don't have to fax like we still belong to the dark ages. Today we'll try to show something. How can we fax? How can we do something cool in 2026? And I had a rumor, I had a
Mhm.
whisper that some
Okay.
folks at
All
some
right.
company somewhere called Zoom are doing some amazing stuff. They've changed the way the world meet, and now they're claiming they can change the way we fax. Let's see if that is true. All right, guys. So I talked about this company called Zoom that is changing the way we work. Fax is built into that client. Just think about that. In those days, you need this big bulky fax machine to do your stuff. But today, it's different. It's right within the Zoom Workplace client. And all you need to do to turn it on is to go into your account settings and enable fax. And with that as well, you talk about how do I handle my cover page? Well, right there as well. As you can see, you can set up your cover page. You can set it up as the default cover page as well, so that when you go into the client, which you will see later, you'll be able to, it will be automatically selected for you. And all you have to do is just send your fax. And you have different policies and settings that you can apply as well within the account page. I bet you're like, this is very different from your retro style fax machine where you need to put in a bunch of papers, right? Click, 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 take it out, bring it in, take it out, bring it in. All that's gone. All you have to do is use this wonderful Zoom workplace portal, set up your policies. The other thing is, as you enable fax for your users, you can also add additional functionalities like can you get email notification? Can you include fax in that email? Or do you want your users to send faxes by email? At which point I'm hearing jumping off your seat thinking, I can send fax through email. Yes, you can. Remember, we're not in the 1990s. This is 2026, and these Zoom phone guys are doing something really cool. So all you need to do is enable that within the policy. Okay, as you see through the video, you could also add members who can access that fax. So we send the fax. You don't have to jump and run to the next room, to the fax room to pick up the fax. Everybody works from home today. You imagine you have to drive 2 hours to pick up the fax from your office. That isn't progressive, is it? But Zoom Phone is progressive. So right here, you can choose the permissions to use for these users, whether they want to access it, download it, delete it. You have that granularity around the permissions for the faxes as well. Okay, this is great. No more, there's no need to lock the fax room with some padlock in there, right? I think that's cool. And here we're showing you how you can enable your users to be able to send fax using their email. You attach an email address to a fax number and you're good to go. And now that we've set all that up, now you see we have the fax tab. It's now showing in the client. And like I said earlier, you choose the destination. Look at that fax cover page we selected. It's been automatically selected because we said that is going to be a default fax. Additionally, you can even use notes, add as additional notes for that. Think of in healthcare sector where you want to send a patient data across, the doctor has or the nurse has or the clinician has that flexibility to be able to add a note in there. Right here, we're going to send a fax by email. How cool is that, right? I don't have to just shove it down a machine. I can come in here, put in my email, add my attachment, and off you go with the fax. I think you agree with me. This is how to do fax in 2026. And you can additionally go into your outbox, check the status of each fax that you've been sending, everything within the client. We're not waiting for that incredible, frustrating fax tone, right? Did I get a fax tone? Did you not get a fax tone? We're not waiting for that. All of this is done intuitively within the Zoom Workplace client. You get your fax data, the status, and just so you can see how many faxes, all the faxes we've sent here. And you can send additional 1-2 pages. You can send up to 200, 300 pages of fax. This, Nate, I think you agree with me, is how to do fax in 2026.
That's excellent. All right. Thank you so much, Deji, for walking us through fax and how Zoom Phone does fax. I didn't think we'd be having this conversation in 2026, but it is still relevant. Next up, we're talking about cassette tapes.
That's amazing, Nate. Amazing. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. I'm Nate Raper.
And I'm Deji Okanlawon
with Beyond the Dial Tone, and these are our personal thoughts, and they are not sponsored by Zoom. Have a wonderful day.